everybody out there. KB45, Modern Warrior here again. You know, Kempo, Bible, 45, and everything else. So, wanted to do a little thing, safety stuff. Safety. So, this is my truck box, okay? This is the first aid kit. Now, this is really just for work, but it has dual purposes. So, go through it real quick. Now, my wife set this up for me. There's a couple things in here I asked for, but for the most part, keep one of these in every vehicle. Set of gloves, compression bandage. This is one of the Israeli ones. These are really nice. Okay, you can do this by yourself with one hand if you get into trouble. It has a cleat. I think that's what they call it. But anyway, you can double it over, pull it back, set it yourself. Okay. Lots and lots. I'm not gonna take everything out of here because it's a lot of duplicates. Lots and lots of gauze. Bleed stop. So, bleed stop, super important. So, like I said, this could be for a tactical thing, but this is really just a safety kit for work. My father is on blood thinners, okay? It wasn't even at work, I don't think. He was helping me do something in the field. Blood thinners, you cannot get them to quit bleeding if they cut their hand, anything. I mean, you have to compress it. This stuff will fix it, okay? And you don't need nearly this much. This would be like for a tremendous wound, okay? You can also use cayenne pepper. It's gonna burn a little bit, but it'll make it clot, okay? So there's probably some of that in here too. But these are super valuable because, like, he cut his hand, we could not get it to quit bleeding, okay? So if you have, you know, an older generation around you, or if you're young and super unhealthy and you're already on blood thinners, you probably should carry one of these. He carries one in his wallet. Guess what? He sweat through it like it was in paper. Looked like a little salt packet like you used to get back in the 80s and 90s at a restaurant, like Wendy's or something. Anyway, puts it in his billfold, sweats through it, it's no good, okay? These, they're in Mylar, they're good, they're gonna last forever, okay? So, tourniquet, same thing. This is not, I don't know the brand on this. I know how to use it. Doesn't matter. You should have a tourniquet. You guys are going out shooting, okay? We're all about shooting. We're all about firearms. We're all about, you know, whatever is marksmanship for you. Archery, right? An arrow goes through, that's going to be pretty bad too, but it's a little different than having a bullet hit you. So, I recommend, as I go through this kit, I recommend you have this kit anytime you go to the range, whatever that looks like for you. I keep one in my truck. It's out there when we're in the field. You know, you could have anything happen. I had a guy rip his calf real bad, but I didn't have this specific thing happen. But another crew I knew, guy jumped down, ran a piece of rebar through his calf. Okay, fell and tore it out, bleeding pretty bad. Okay, they wrapped it up somehow, but they didn't have one of these. So if they'd had this, it'd be great. Okay. So a bag, okay, this is just to clean everything up, put all your trash in it, right? You can use this. So, well, let me get to this first, okay? Chest seals, okay? Vacuum seals so you can breathe. These are actually created for the battlefield, okay? These are in case you get a hole in your chest through your lung. Your lungs will not work if you have a hole in your chest. They don't work very efficiently anyway. So, take these off, wipe it, slap it on, seals it up, self-adhesive, you're set up, okay? Really bad scenario, you take this wrapper, you can do it with anything, and you can do it with this if you have to, okay? This and duct tape, or this and this bandage, okay? You could wrap it around your chest. That would be a pretty rough go, especially if you're by yourself. If you're by yourself, you're not going to be able to do the one on your back anyway, Okay, so carry 2. Okay, if you have a through and through, it's so you can keep breathing. Okay, that's pretty nasty stuff, but I would like to say that safety is just of the utmost most importance. If you were on a target range and you had a high powered whatever they were out there with, if you had a ricochet and it came back and you weren't wearing, armor. A lot of guys wear armor when they go shoot. I do not. It's not a thing for me. Body armor, I believe in it, but it has its time and place. I'm not going to wear it when I shoot, and I'm also not going to have people around me that I don't trust. Now, that being said, accidents happen, so there you go for that, okay? This stuff. Alright, another bandage, so like sprain wrap bandage, compression. There is, talk about this in a minute. A razor, use it like a scalpel, mini light, vitamin D. Okay, this kit's this is what we call, I call this my truck box, but it's a Goodwill box, okay? Rubber band, you use that for whatever fashion you may need, okay? Antibiotic cream, ibuprofen, okay? Right here, okay, powdered aspirin, not acetaminophen, okay? We're talking about blood thinners. Somebody is having a heart attack, this will get in their system quicker. It's ground up, okay? There's a lot of ways you can get that in the bloodstream quicker. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but you guys that used to be, I have friends that used to be drug users, they definitely know how to do it quicker, okay? So, you can save a life with that. Just tons of bandages, alcohol wipes, sanitary. So, being clean, scalpel if you need it, just a blade. You may need to trim this, you may need to trim the tape, whatever you have to do. So, if you had to clean yourself up, if you got most of the time you have bottled water these days, clean sanitary water. Okay, you can wash a wound real quick with that. You can wipe it with an alcohol wipe, and you can get moving. Okay. This is just my opinion, but these days we have so many antibiotics and everything else that I feel like you can not worry about. I mean, you want to keep it clean, but if it's a really bad situation, that is not the biggest concern. The biggest concern is keeping somebody alive. So, but this kit works for all kinds of minor little stuff. It works for important stuff, big things. Antibiotic cream that was antibiotic cream, but and a histamine cream, okay? Especially you got kids, like, you can go in somewhere, whatever. You get a sting, you get something they're allergic to. I mean, don't have an EpiPen or anything like that, but keep some Benadryl, something pretty high powered, okay, on hand. Keep some other things. Now, let me get to this real quick. So, also Mylar blanket in here for warmth, okay? This can do all sorts of things as well. Like I said, the chest seal thing, if you had to, you can use this and wrap it down pretty tight like a tourniquet. I wouldn't advise it, but it could be done, okay? Just about anything could. The plastic bag, probably not, but this would have enough tensile strength you could cinch it down pretty tight, okay? You could wrap a wound pretty tight with it and tie it off. It's big enough to do that. So there's a lot of things you could do with this. Other thing about this, okay? Ukraine, right? So that's kind of a dark war going on over there. So the name of the game, pretty much everybody knows, it studies it, but night vision, thermal, okay? That's how it's all getting done over there. That's how we do it. That's how we've done it for years, because we have more technology than other places. Night vision and thermal. Thermal is becoming so good. Like, I heard a story about them being able to see a guy with a big lighter. There wasn't any interference. It was clear. The humidity was low. But being able to see a big lighter flash up at like 4,000 yards. Okay, that's a long ways, but they could see it, and that's amazing. But that's where the technology is, so you almost can't hide from it. You can hide from it with this, okay, or multiples of these. Now this one's shiny, right, because it's just traditional. Okay, this is just for safety and health, all those things. But you can hang this and be behind it. You can throw it over a shrub. You can dive in a pile of trash and throw this over it, and it will conceal your thermal, your thermal footprint, or your whatever image IR reading. Okay, so things to think about. This is a safety kit, but as things get ugly, I don't think that'll ever happen here in America, but say we had like a Red Dawn event or something, it could be China, whatever, people are flipping out about that. Had the weather balloon shot down last week, so be semi-prepared for that. But this is a safety kit, okay? So, I'm going pretty fast, but I'm limited on time today, so. Alright, oh, by the way, the shirt, my family has a sense of humor. If you ever go to work with me, you'll realize that I'll probably tell you that you might not live tomorrow. So anyway, I have a pretty rough crew, and they're just the way they are. Okay, so this is, people like to talk about a go bag. All right, this is my Goodwill bag. Okay, I don't have a go bag. This would be a get home bag or a Goodwill bag. Now, why is that? Okay, so little thing about me, if somebody's broke down, I stop and help them. Okay, it's I don't know, it's an old thing. Okay, that's what I don't associate with the Templars, but that was their job in the old days, to guard the pilgrimage road to Jerusalem from Europe. Same thing. There needs to be some goodwill out there. Okay, so this bag, it's loaded like a bug out bag, but it's not. It's loaded. It's really loaded like a get home bag. Okay, so anywhere I am, I wouldn't be more than 45 miles from home. Okay, so I need to make it home. Okay, and just recently, the weather balloon thing. Okay, China flew over. It was 62,000 feet, whatever they were. They could drop a tactical EMP on us from there. They could blow out, so we're close to Kansas City. They could probably hit it and get most of it. I don't know. The balloon was 200 feet in diameter. It could have a pretty sizable, whatever. I don't want to say payload, because it wouldn't be like that, but it would be. It could be transporting pretty good payload. So that's something to consider. The lights could go out, right? Your vehicle's not going to work. You're going to walk home, okay? So this is a cold weather bag. This is a Goodwill bag. I drive really cheap vehicles that everybody says is unreliable, but to me they're fine, okay? So I have a bag. It's okay. All right. So that happens. Say whatever happens, you got to get home, okay? I started to say the other thing about, let's go back. So, Goodwill, okay? So, I keep, and I didn't open this up to make sure before I did it, but I should have. So, there's all kinds of stuff on here, okay? So, rope, right? Let me take that off of there. So, I carry rope. I can make a makeshift shelter. You can do whatever you would do with rope, really. Alright, these S carabiners. Oh, these aren't S's. These are, word escapes me right now, but these are really good, okay? So, the reason what's good about them, they're not very expensive. Well, they are. That's all relative. But, so, you can run, they basically have this cam. You run your rope through, you bring it out here. As you draw it back through, it locks. It cams in place. You can see that right there. Okay, so you don't have to know anything about how to make a knot. Okay, you can hang this. If you needed to hang a line so that you could make a makeshift shelter, you can do it. Okay, you can do all kinds of things. All right, I carry 2 of these. I carry them on here. Yeah, and I carry the rope on there for that. Okay, so I want to get to this part first and then move back. So actually, maybe I'll just have to go. So much in this bag. Okay, so let's start here. Alright, so it's like the other kit. So tourniquet, bandage, a lot of my medical on the outside because that's what this bag is for. This is not a long-term bag. It can be used that way. It's not going to be used that way because I don't like it. I'm not totally sold on this bag. Okay, water purification right there. Saw your straw box. Okay, so you can transfer clean water to here, keep filtering. You can capture water and dip it so that you don't have to get the straw down in the water. Okay, you don't have to use a syringe to do that in that scenario. It's just tons of stuff. Could have other purposes. If you ended up long term doing some stuff, you'd be glad you have that little poly box. Okay, here this looks like super prep type stuff. It's not. We did these. They do have a lot of thought in them, but anybody can do this. Okay, so medical again, all on the outside where I can get to it quickly. Okay, so if I rolled up on an accident, I mean, it wasn't but a few years ago I had helped somebody out of a rollover. Okay, that's just me. Kansas Good Samaritan law. You can stop and help people. Okay, you're not gonna get sued. That being said, you shouldn't give them drugs. Okay, but you see this is full of gauze, sanitizers, alcohol wipes, all kinds of stuff that you could give aid to somebody in a bad circumstance. Mylar blanket again, warmth, all that. Okay, there's a syringe that's actually for the water straw, so you can draw it, force it. You can do it that way. More bleed stops in there. I mean, gloves, clean stuff. Okay, so I'm not sure how quickly that processes water. However, if you knew you were going to have to clean a wound, something, you could get some clean water. Okay, it might take a while. I'm not sure about that. There's some other medications in there, ibuprofen for inflammation. You can treat just about anything. Okay, so that is that. I try to keep most of the medical close to the outside. Okay, this is going to be similar to it. Okay. All right. In here. This bag, this is in my truck most of the time too, okay? So, this bag, and this is not to get all crazy, right? Okay, so, tent, okay? Water bucket, foldable bucket, alright? Now, what's crazy about this is you could break down and you could need water for your vehicle. Okay, you can carry water in this. Get your radiator going. It was pretty bad. Didn't completely work out, but had a truck once, popped a hole in the radiator. We actually put bubble gum on it, and believe it or not, we made it about 20 miles or better before that came off. Now, that being said, we didn't have any water once we got where we're going. You can carry water in this, and you would be okay. I might be. Oh, I'm sorry. I said this was a tent, but it's not. This is my. So this is your waterproof wrap. So you could wrap your sleeping bag in that. Okay. I should have known that. I haven't been in this bag in a while. Okay. Some more cord. I have a vault in there, so I've got some other emergency things in there, and some cash, a little bit of stuff. in a situation where I was really gonna have to move. That's just in there because this rides in my truck, but I would empty that and I would dump it because it's about 3 pounds you don't need to be carrying. And I did scale this bag before we started to talk because I knew somebody would want to know what it weighed. This setup I'm running is 27 pounds, roughly 27.6, I think is what it said when I scaled it. Now, another water bottle, okay, that's just on there. There's a, nope, that's on the inside, sorry. That's one of my food containers. And so what I did, I built this and then I cinched it all down and crushed it so it would condense. So some of it's not going to want to go back for a while. Alright, so in here, I mentioned this is a Goodwill bag, right? So, one change of clothes, okay? Pants, jeans, socks, right? So, if I came across somebody that needed that, I mean, they'd have to be smaller than me. That's probably not a problem in some ways, but others, I have a full change of clothes, okay? But this, 2 meals, okay? There's 2 full meals in this container, alright? I carry 2 of them. 2 of them, okay? If I come up on somebody, it's bad weather, whatever, they're homeless, they're tracking, or I should say trekking. If they're doing that, they need food, I'll empty this out, I'll get this bag out, and I will give that to them, okay? So, that's the Goodwill portion of it. I do have a, I'm going to open it all the way up, sleeping bag in the bottom, okay? So, you can live a day on this food. There's enough, there's 2 meals in there. I thought I'd have to count it up, but there's at least 3,000 calories in there. I generally only consume about 1,600 a day anyway. So if I had, let's say I was 45 miles out, okay, that would be a long range. I would hope not to be that far away. I could, 45 miles, you're only going to do about 3 miles an hour, maybe 3.5 if you're trying to get across country. You're looking at about 15 hours roughly, right? So by the time you have to stop, do whatever you got to do, that's what you're going to be looking at. So 30, you can do generally, like if you're on asphalt or something, which is actually harder to walk on, the surface is harder. People think it's better. It is less resistance, but it'll beat you to death. So if you have to, get out there and go, you're gonna want to try to stay on the softer soil. I'm out of frame. I realize that. Sorry about that, guys. Might have to do this again. Okay, so get this closed up. This is just so you guys can see. This bag just has good intentions. Okay, this is just to help me or to help somebody else out. Okay. I do carry, so this would be the knife I run on this rig. This is one I like to carry. So when, this is a nice setup for survival, okay? It's nice for everything. It's sharp enough you can do whatever you want with it. What I like about this is a SOG Steel Pup. This is the sheath you get with it. It's perfect for a Leatherman, okay? So I can carry that and a big enough, piece of steel to do whatever I need to do, okay? If I have to cut this cord, that's what that's for, okay? So you guys can see it. Okay, it's not huge. not like super impressive, okay? It's just razor sharp. Alright? And I keep that on here, but like as soon as if I was gonna hike with this, I would probably transfer that to my belt. Depends. This bag is set up, it's got the hip, the strapping, so you can support on your hips. Like I said, this bag holds what I want it to. I'm not completely happy with this bag. So that being said, find a bag you like. Okay, this bag, I don't plan on being in this bag more than 2 days. If that was worst case, I really just plan on getting it out to get food out of it for somebody else. Okay, but it serves all the other purposes that I need it to. Now, it has so many compartments. Look, you can overfill, but, okay, gauze, that's actually tissue, but it's not like regular tissue, it's a little heavier, so you can use it for a lot of different things. Gloves, alright, so these would be more of a work glove, even though they will shield you from, contamination as long as you stay pretty dry. And silverware, you need silverware, okay? You're gonna dump this stuff or you're gonna protect it like it's gold if we have some type of apocalyptic event. So, like I said, this is mostly to help people out, okay? That's how I look at it, that's how I approach it. It's part of ministry to me. Like, nobody else is stopping to help people. I'm gonna stop and help them. I picked a kid up once, several times. I stopped and helped somebody, picked him up in a dump truck, took him to a shelter once, or to somebody that took him to a shelter. So, that's kind of, like I said, that's what this is all about. Now, see, you said pouches. Okay, this is gonna be more Mylar, right? Okay, so if I came on something, and now this is not Mylar, this is just poly, okay? This is it's not a poncho, but it's like a poncho for your sleeping bag. You just slide that, wrap your sleeping bag, keep the moisture off of you, okay? And, very important item, this is my, hang on, just break it open. This is my lighter. Now, I didn't even know these are around. I don't do all the survival stuff. I just do, like, if you're a farmer, if you're a homesteader, you're a construction guy, like, you've already made burritos with your crew in a fire on the job site. Like, they wrap them in foil and throw them over there, right? So, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's just skills you should have. Now, that is, I forget what they call these, but it's an electric lighter. If you can see that, that is hot, okay? And it's super safe at the same time. You recharge it, it's got a USB, that is, I think it's a USB type B. It's like the old Samsung phones, it's not the new C, like what Apple and Samsung are going to now, but anyway. It's hot, okay? It's an arc. I don't know how they do that exactly, but it's pretty cool. So your parchment, whatever you have that you need to light, you can light it with that, okay? Super lightweight. That's how you make fire in the wild. Being able to make fire is your most important thing. You sterilize water. You can, I don't know, maybe you want to make smoke signals. But you can't do it if you can't get it lit. So, over here, another wrap, okay? This is this is the wrap. That was my tent. This is the sleeping bag wrap. So, sorry I was wrong about that. I should know all my stuff, shouldn't I? So, anyway, that, a light, okay? Whoa, it's bright. Strobes, whatever, if you want to signal. It's also power source. These are pretty good. They're super cheap. These are from Home Depot. You find them at Christmas for next to nothing on the, out on the end cap aisles. So you can power up. Well, they'll power any USB, so you could run your phone if you had to. If your phone, if your phone's working, then you can back up the power source with that, as long as you have a cord. So mostly I carry it for light, and not really worried about the phone part. So there's that. Now in here, look, there's more medical, but okay. So you need a rain cover. Okay, some of what I had in there will double as that. Okay, look, more bandages, right? You're like, oh, this guy's got so many bandages. Tape. Okay, lots of medical. We carry lots of medical, but carry lots of protein. Okay, so 6 packs of tuna, 3 a day for 2 days, plus the other 3,000 calories in each one of those. I could split that out. I could get at least 4 days out of it. All right. If I can't handle, the reduction in calories, I'll just slow down and make sure I can. All right. We were talking about this earlier, like in a conversation I was having. Like, the world's lying. They're like, oh, all these gym trainers are lying. Well, they're not really lying, but like, there's a lot of us that were made differently. We just don't use calories. I'm one of them. My kids are like, you don't eat anything. I'm like, no. I train morning, 2 nights a week. I train 5 mornings a week. I go to work. I do everything else. And I teach martial arts 2 nights a week. And I lift on top of that if I get that in. And whatever else comes up, right? And I don't sleep that much, okay? Now, all that being said, like they say, my baseline is about 1,800 calories just to maintain. I run on around 1,700 calories. I still can add mass, and I'm not hungry, okay? So, just difference in metabolism. So, I can make that go a long ways. I could probably get 4 days for sure, okay? But you have to know what you do. You know how you're made. I'm an old concrete guy. We don't eat breakfast. Generally, my kind. We'd only have 1 meal a day anyway, way back when. Doing a lot better about being healthier and not doing that. I wouldn't recommend it, but that is how I am made. There's basically a type of warrior or they weren't one clan, but they are. So they were Galaglos or Galaglox, depending on how you want to say it. It's like really, really old English. Ireland, Scotland, they were intermeshed with some of the old Viking bloodline, but they're mercenaries. And up until gunpowder got to where it was overtaking the battlefield, if you were in Europe and as far way over east into the Indies even, these guys would go out. They're mercenaries every year. That's what they did. So they were so fierce that if you had, a couple hundred cavalry, you would make sure you had at least 50 of these guys. And you can look them up. They weren't very good people. They would even kill their own kind for money, right? They're just full-blown mercenaries. But their primary diet was pork, butter, cheese, and I'm trying to think of the other one. Maybe it was eggs. But they, we call it the Galaglock diet. It's protein and fat. There's almost no carbs in it. So you're getting your vitamin D, you get your calcium, getting things like that, and you're just getting lots and lots of carbs and fat. But those guys could march like 3 days without stopping, maybe even without eating. I don't know that part. But they'd show up on the battlefield and just go to war. It wasn't a big thing. If they had to march, there's stories about them marching days and days through the swamps, through the top, crest of the mountains, and back down into the valley, through snow. and then showing up on the battlefield and, you know, just destroying the other side. So those guys were not high calorie burners, and they were massive men. So you find you do you as far as your caloric value. Know what you gotta have. If you need a lot of calories, peanut butter and gummy bears. Not good sustainably, but really good in a pinch, and it'll get you where you're going. Okay? So, and for all this food I have, you could have had 3, well, you could have had 4 or 5 things of peanut butter, and you can live a whole day on a thing of peanut butter. So you just gotta have something to eat it with, or your finger, I guess. I don't know, but you'll get sick of it, but it'll keep you going and give you plenty of energy. So that being said, that's it. I'm gonna button this up, and just wanted to show you that. I had somebody asking me about it. Okay, so this is not prepping. That's not what I look at it as. This could be that, but we have a similar bag to this that we make all of our kids carry, all of our daughters, right? So like your daughter's out, yeah, she's got a phone, but she got college classes till 10:30 at night, right? She's driving home. We live 30 miles outside the city, right? It just, if it's super cold weather, there's enough in here to get you warm again, okay? There's enough in here to keep you. There's enough calories and food in here to keep you warm. I didn't include, I have this over here. So this is, and this is a cheapie, but it's a good one as far as we can tell. This is a portable stove. So you buy these in a kit. They make super nice ones if you want to go to like REI or whatever your Shields, whatever your store is. But this is your, it's everything. Silverware is built in here. It folds, collapses. You have it's like a ladle, and then you have, oh, these are just, I don't even know. Oh, I do. Okay, this is the base. It makes a tripod. I'm not snapping in, but this is it's a fireproof base that this goes on. So this is a stackable kit that actually is 3 pans, or I'm sorry, 2 pans. You get it over the fire. There you go. Okay, this one too. This all condenses down. This is a scrubber, so you can scrub it. That just came with it. This is your mixer, your wooden spoon. Okay, all goes like that. Breaks down. Also, before I close that up, these should be, yep, they are. Nope, what's this? Okay. This is the torch base, okay? So it all ratchets, unfolds. You screw your butane bottle on it, and there you go. Now you got full meal capability, alright? If you have a way to catch a fish, which I didn't show that, but in there I do have fishing lines, some hooks and stuff. You can pretty well do it all. You can cook it, okay? Now, bad circumstances, keep in mind, you know, not both. So there's a silly movie out about survival after this apocalyptic event, and there's like spiders and stuff as big as buildings. I don't know, crazy animals, but anyway, they have a rule when they're moving around, not both. You either get a hot meal or you get to sleep all night. But if you cook a hot meal, everybody knows where you're at. So you gotta move camp. So anyway, there's a lot of comedy out there in the movie world, but there's a lot of value in some of that too, right? So like, not both. You either get a good meal or you get a good night's sleep, but you don't get both. You're either gonna, you know, cook and run, or you're gonna slide in somewhere under that Mylar blanket and stay warm. Okay? Talk to you later, guys.